Hey everybody, welcome to Fuel for the Soul with John Giftah. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to today's broadcast where I'm going to talk about a very, very important word that a lot of people need to hear today. You, listen to me carefully, you did not do anything wrong. Now, why do I say that is, a lot of people are living in a sense of guilt or regret, reliving their past and constantly pondering upon something they did or did not do, or said or did not say, or whatever happened, because of which their life is not where they wish their life would be at. And I'm telling you that just because you're in that situation, just because you have this constant nagging, because the Bible talks about the accuser of the brethren. What does he do? When you don't do something, he say, you should have done that. That's why you are in this place. Or he would say, you didn't do it to the best of your ability. That's why you're in this place. But I want you to understand something very important here. God is sovereign and he knows what he's doing with their life. I'm not talking about people who willfully disobey the voice of God. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who know and you know and you know. You trusted God and you took a step. You, at that point, had no other choice and you took one step, believing that is what God wanted you to do. Or that's what you could do. There's something else, there's nothing else you could do at that point. Then if that is the case, I want you to be at peace with your past. Joseph in the Bible had been wrongly accused by Potiphar's wife, even when Joseph did nothing wrong. And Joseph's life was at stake. I'll explain this to you a little later, probably in another episode, but I want you to understand that the law of the land of that time was if a person had committed adultery or even tried to commit adultery or rape, they would be executed. Joseph's life was at stake because of that. But there was a divine way in which his life was saved. He should have been killed, but he could not be killed because of something. I'll talk about that in another episode, or you can check out my podcast where I've spoken about this. I put the link in the description. I want you to understand something here. Potiphar's wife accused Joseph, and Joseph, all he knew to do was run. And he was wrongly accused, put in prison. Now, think about how Joseph could have felt when he was in the prison. Not for, a few hours or a few days. He was there for years in the prison. And imagine the kind of questions and doubts he would have felt, like, maybe I should have not behaved in some way, or how could I have prevented this? How could I have run away and not got into trouble? Maybe I should have run away and ran back to my hometown, or, think about all the questions that Joseph could have felt at that point when he was in the prison. But here's the thing. Even what the enemy meant for harm, God always turns it around for good. See, when you cannot go back and control your past, you need to understand God controls your life. Joseph could not go back and change that. And there was nothing beyond or in his hands to go and reverse the sentence to be in jail. But I want you to understand, just because you had a bad thing, a string attached to your past, wish you could go back and change it, which you cannot, stop dwelling on it. Stop crying about it. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I should have done that. I mean, I've experienced this in my life where, even if somebody else did something wrong to me, I would keep pondering upon it and said, maybe I should have still not, I shouldn't have said this, or I should have said that, or I should have behaved this way. Maybe how could I prevent this from happening? How can I try to set this aside? Can I tell you something? That's how our mind works. But I encourage you today to make peace with your past. Whatever happened, happened. If God wanted you to still be in that same position, He would have made you still be in the same position. If God wants those people to be still attached to your life, He could make it happen. But if God allowed it to happen, if God allowed Potiphar's wife to falsely accuse Joseph, it just simply means God has something better and bigger in store for Joseph. That's what I want you to have the hope. If God allowed that negative thing to happen in your life, it's not to make you go down. It's because He wants to trust you to another level of your destiny. Yes, it seemed like a setback, but it was actually a setup for Joseph. What seems like a setback for you is actually a setup for you to go to your divine destiny. Joseph could not have reached the palace without Potiphar's wife falsely accusing Joseph, because if not, he would have remained a slave till the end of his life. Because of that betrayal, because of the wrong accusation, Joseph's designation moved from being a slave to becoming the prime minister equivalent of the highest or the most powerful nation in the world of that time, Egypt. Think about it. God allowed it so that he would go to the next level. Otherwise, he would have stayed comfortable being the chief slave in Potiphar's house. See, the reason God has to allow certain things to happen is to push us out of our comfort zones. Otherwise, we'll remain in the same place the rest of our life. Because if He tells us, I want you to go, many of us won't go. So He has to push us out. He has to send us out of some companies. He has to send us out of some team. Or He has to send us out of, some places or some familiar places in our life, because only then we will move out of it and be prepared to go to the next higher level that He has in store for us. So I want you to stop thinking that you did something wrong. Because if you read in the narrative, Joseph did not do anything wrong. But the enemy will always tell you, you did something wrong, that's why you're in this place. I'm telling you not. Even when you are making something, if God does not want you to do it, He will stop you when your heart is in the right position. So stop beating yourself. Stop sitting and crying and weeping and spending all your time with guilt, when you can be free, knowing that, okay, I did the best I could do in that situation. I know without a shadow of a doubt, I trusted in God. I took the step trusting Him. I took the step based on His leading. Then I can be at peace, knowing that the outcome is in His hands. I just want to close with this testimony from my life. And I can share several testimonies, but one of the testimonies that happened recently was, most of you know that my recent book became #1 on Amazon. It became a bestseller. As much as that's a very good news, there was a big hard news for me when I realized that I had a lot of unexpected issues with the publishers. I don't want to get into the details here, but what I wanted to say, it was a big setback and a blow for me. And the first thing that came to my mind and from everybody else was, you did something wrong in choosing these publishers. You did this. It's because of you. That's how the accusing voices kept on trolling me. But when I introspected my life, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I took this step praying. asking God for His leading. Yes, the book became a number one, all these things happened, all these things, what God ordained for the book came to pass, but there were so many challenges that happened, and even after a month, after my book came out, still, in terms of sales and all of that, I had a big blow because of all these issues that happened. But the constant thing is, you did something wrong, that's why you're going through this. But when I introspected from my heart, I knew that I took this step based on how God led me. And I had to come to that place where I'm asking you to come, where I had to make peace with my past, make peace with that decision. And I'll tell you honestly, in the past 1 month or so, ever since the book came out and all these issues happened, I learned so much in the field of publishing that I wouldn't have learned if everything had gone well with the publishers. I learned so much in this 1 month of, all the stuff that happened. So I want you to think about this, that if God wanted you to not do that, He would have prevented. If God allowed you to do it, it's to teach you a lesson, it's to elevate you, it's to promote you, and it's to take you to another level of your destiny. Like I said in my case, I've come to a place where I'm like, okay, maybe next year I can publish my own book on my own. I've come to a place where I've learned so much to that fact so that's how I want you to take it. Don't think of it as a negative thing. Think of it as a positive thing and say, wow, I went through this negative thing, but I did the best I could do with my ability. So I leave the rest to God. It's in His hands to elevate, promote, and take me to my final destiny. I hope this message blessed you, encouraged you, taught you something. Would love to hear from you. Do connect with me through social media. All the details are available in the description. Also, you can get my new book, Unveil Your Purpose. The details are again available in the description. And I would love to hear from you. And also, don't forget to check out my podcast, where I post a new episode every single day. It's a great way to reach a lot of people. And if you are into podcasting, I encourage you to listen to them as well. And would love to hear from you. May God bless you. Amen.
We hope you were blessed by this special program by the John Giftah International Ministries, and we are looking forward to hear from you. We invite you to stay connected with us through all our services, events, YouTube and other social media forums for regular inspirations, teachings and further updates. You can also know more about our ministry by logging on to www.johngiftah.com. If you have been blessed by this program and would like us to continue to bless more people, we encourage you to partner with us financially. If you are led to sow into the John Giftah International Ministries, you can now transfer your funds through net banking or Google Pay. Thank you once again for staying tuned. God bless you.